Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 1 of the Query Diaries. I'm going to take you through the whole process of researching about query writing a query, sending out queries, and seeing what happens. So the first thing I want to talk about is my previous querying experience. I've had very minimal experience. I did query a book 2 years ago. I thought it was more recent than that, but I went back and looked at my email, and the query emails that I had sent were back in August of 2016. The queries in general that I did back then I'm not super happy with, which is probably why they didn't really get anywhere. I didn't really send a lot of queries out at the time though. I think I might have sent a total of like 5 emails. And then I just got busy with other stuff. I was finishing school. I don't know why I was trying to query a novel at the same time. I think with anything, my main problem is that I just get impatient and I just want to do everything all at once. And you don't have to do everything all at once, you know? You really don't. I've had time to think about my manuscript. I've reworked it quite a bit and I'm so happy with it. Right now I have people reading it who are just gonna tell me what their readerly impressions are, basically, like, as a casual reader, would you buy this book? Like, does it make sense? Are there any things that need to be fleshed out? Is it bad? Those kinds of things. So that's what I'm finding out right now. But in the meantime, I'm going to try and do a query letter. So I'm looking at my old query letter. I opened up one of my old emails, and I can see why. Actually, I know why the queries didn't work out the first time, besides the fact that I only tried like 5 people, but also it was just because I think in some ways I was afraid to say exactly what my book was about, which is silly because literally as soon as you read the first chapter, you know what the book is about. But I kind of danced around it a little bit because my main character is bisexual, and that's basically the whole premise of the book, is him finally opening up to the people that he loves and saying, listen, this is who I am, and finding love and finding the confidence to put himself out there and become a different person from what he'd previously been. And it's very clear in like the first chapter that you know this guy is definitely not straight. For some reason I was afraid in the original query to get into that. And I think that was because 2 years ago, bisexual characters were not very widespread in media. It's definitely a underrepresented sexuality, and it's often misrepresented in media. So I think that I was just nervous that if I said that the character is bisexual right away, that would turn off some agents. I would rather be upfront about it, because if an agent is not comfortable supporting this kind of a story, I want to know as soon as possible instead of finding out later. So I'm going to read for you guys the synopsis that was in my original query. In his senior year of high school, Julian Morrison has one rule for himself: remain single. After an emotional breakup with his girlfriend Lucy, Julian wants nothing but to just play on the basketball team and finish school. Lost in his mind, he dreams of a faraway place where he can just be free to become someone new and express his sexuality without feeling so wrong. When he's convinced to audition for the school's production of Hamlet, things start to get complicated. He's been cast as the lead. Every plan he had for this year is slowly crumbling away. On top of it all, he meets a boy, the Horatio to his Hamlet. Sky Lee is charismatic, confident, and undeniably attractive. Julian finds he can confide in him all the secrets he's kept hidden from his best friends, including the fact that he's bisexual. As he spends more time with Sky, Julian slowly begins to realize he can't hide his feelings unless he wants to lose a chance at happiness. But both honesty and lies come with a price, and Julian must decide what he is ready to risk. So you see, like, I bury it in there, like, right in the middle of the second paragraph. I'm like, oh yeah, by the way, he's bisexual. And I don't want to do that this time around. So I did write a new synopsis, but I may change it depending on what I read about query letters today and over the next little while. But the synopsis that I now have: Julian has known he was bisexual for years. He just doesn't want to say it yet. Instead, he'd rather party, play basketball, and pretend he's straight until he can graduate and move away. But when his friend Belle begs him to audition for the school play, Julian doesn't have it in his heart to say no, and when he meets the mysteriously beautiful Sky Lee, he realizes pretending to be straight might not be an option anymore. Suddenly, every plan Julian had for himself has been thrown out the window. He's cast as the lead in the show, with Sky as his co-star. As the two boys spend more time together, Julian begins to open up to both himself and the world. But there are some things he still can't bear to confess, and some wounds that can't be cured by love at all. So definitely a better synopsis And it informs the agent right away that this is a bisexual story and that that's the way it's gonna be. That's the only thing that I've done recently for querying, is just write the synopsis, but the query letter is more than just the synopsis. So I honestly remember nothing from the first time around, so we're gonna have to start at the beginning again and head to Google. How to query an agent. Literary. There we go. How to write the perfect query letter from March 21st, 2016. I probably read this in 2016, actually. Let's get crack-a-lackin'. So I'm gonna read some things, I'm gonna take some notes, and I'm gonna let you guys know what's going on. So, in the last half hour, I read 3 things that I found very interesting. I'm gonna show you guys the things that I highlighted from each thing, and I'm gonna include links to the articles as well, so you can check them out yourself. But one thing in the first article, which is from Writer's Digest, the agent mentioned how there was personalization in the queries. The agent also mentioned that it's important in your query to highlight what your main character wants most in the world, what's standing in their way. They want to know, of course, the word count, your target audience, your genre, etc., stuff like that. That's just very basic, brief stuff. And a short and sweet bio, so you don't have to include a whole lot. You can just say, I have a degree in blah blah blah. I have been published in these magazines beforehand, and leave it at that. For me, I don't have a degree in English. I have a degree in music with a minor in English. Then I also have a degree in music composition as well, in addition to that. So I do have degrees, but not specifically in literature. So that was from the first article that I read that was very helpful. I also read an article from this series called Successful Queries. They show examples of query letters from authors and agents. They tell you the name of the agent in the book and the author and everything, so you can even go look up these agents and these authors afterwards and see what it was all about. But in the first one, this one was with Quinn and the book The Night Child. So in this one, the things that I highlighted from her query letter was that she specified she'd been referred by someone, which I probably will not be because I don't know a lot of writers, but you never know. I could meet lots of people through AuthorTube. That's the goal. She also indicated that she noticed the agent's love for a specific book, and she highlighted how her book was similar to the book that he liked. At the end, she gave her short and sweet bio, and she also said, I'm currently working on my second novel. And for the agent, at least, he said that showed that she had a vision for her career past this book, and that she wasn't just looking to get one book published, but she wanted a career as a writer, and for him, that was important. He also suggested that she could include her Twitter handle in her signature. In her signature, she had the email, which is kind of redundant because it is an email, so he obviously knows what her email is. And I never thought to include that, so maybe I will, although my Twitter right now is very amusing, but probably not very professional. Follow me on Twitter, guys! He also pointed out at the end of her query letter that she did include things that she's been published in, and while they are smaller publications, he said that they're still important. So, I haven't submitted anything to smaller publications. Maybe that's something that I could do. Maybe that's something I should be looking into. I don't really know. The other query letter that I read today was between Jannieke Cohen, I think that's how you say her name, and Jennifer Unter. the agent. And then in her query letter, she included that she knew that since Jennifer Unter represented this author, that she was seeking YA literature and that she had a similar book to this other author that she mentioned. And she said something that I thought was very good. She said a standalone novel with series potential. And for me personally, my book is a standalone novel with sequel potential. I would not say series, but I think there definitely could be room for a sequel. I already have an idea for a sequel, which I did not anticipate, but it happened, so I would probably include that in a query letter. So both of these guys, I did actually go on their websites very briefly, but my eyes are getting tired from reading. So I'm probably going to watch some YouTube videos and then do something different, do something else productive. But one thing that I was thinking about, especially as I was reading the query for Anna Quinn, I went and looked at the agent that she had queried and that eventually he represented her, and he talked about how he really liked classics and that he was interested in YA and middle grade and all that stuff. And my novel does have a connection to Hamlet, and mostly just because the characters are in a play of a production of Hamlet, but also there's definitely parts of the story that I drew from Hamlet. Like, Hamlet definitely informed me how I could shape these characters and shape their story. So I don't know if I should include that in the query letter, but it's something to consider for sure. So those are the things that I learned today. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. If you guys like this, I will be making more of these, and hopefully it helps everybody out, including myself. My main goal this time around is to go slow, take my time, and hope for the best. You know, I'm not in any rush. I don't need to be published by 25. I just want to get this story out there eventually and for it to help people, and that's all I need. Okay, so I will talk to you guys next time. Stay tuned for episode 2. Bye!